Hello guys, how's everybody doing today? Great to see all of you here. So you ready to jump in and get some knowledge on the manifesting process? All right, so listen, I have to share something with you, right? So there's something that you're not being told about, right? So why is it that you can manifest things? Why is it that? Why is the reason? Mark, how can I visualize something and it comes into existence? How can I think about something and I see it? How can something just be in my mind and someone call me? How can I think of someone and someone call? Well, listen, the thing is this, the real secret, guys, is this. We live in what we call subjective world. This is something they didn't teach you. You have been placed, you have been programmed to see things objectively. There's this plaster going around that says everything we see is what we see. It is what they call reality. And I'm here to tell you there's no such thing as reality. There's only a perception which tricks you to see a reality. So what they did, they flipped it backwards on you and me. When we go to school, which is where we get our knowledge about the world, we are shoved into the school, the matrix system, and they plaster you and me with this label of objective. What is objective? Many of you probably even never heard objective and subjective worlds. Comment below if you've ever heard the term objective world, subjective world. Do you know what it is? If you don't know what it is, comment below and say, okay, Mark, please explain to me what is the objective world and the subjective world. This is very, very crucial for your understanding. This will help you to achieve your goals. This is need to know information. If you don't know this, then you can't go anywhere. I'm telling you that right now. If you don't know the difference between objective world and subjective world, the buck stops for manifesting. So good. Please explain. Let me explain to you how what's going on. So an objective world is an idea, an ideology, a premise, an awareness that what you and I see is the truth. I'll give you an example. You look around, let's say you at work, you're in your current position at your job. You're earning a certain amount of money, okay? That's what it is. You're saying to yourself, well, this is it. This is all I'm earning. That's called objective. Objective means like this thing is stuck. It is real. It is physical. It's hard to change. Every day we get up, we have been conditioned to see things objectively. We go to work. It's the same routine. We try to change our life. It's hard to do. We give up. We're looking for this. We're looking for that. All along, in that objective world lies the truth, the subjective world. What? So now, do you understand objective? Did you guys get the objective now? Comment below. Let me know. Mark, yes, I get it. Can you, Mark, explain more? Go ahead and comment. So, do you understand objective? Before I go into subjective, I'll do a quick recap. An objective world is, in layman's terms, is what you see is what you get. Everything looks the way it is. It's unchangeable. I touch the wall is stiff, can't move. Everything just around me. Got that? So let's go into subjective world. A subjective world now is the opposite of an objective world. A subjective world is a world where you see things changeable. It's malleable. Subjective world lives in your imagination. A subjective world is where you imagine an outcome, a way of life, the things you want, your desires. Everything of that is called a subjective world. Got that? All right. So now we got subjective and objective. Now, but here's the big difference now. Here's the big difference. Hold on. Hey, can you turn it down? Cause see, if you don't turn the music down, I get a copy. Hey, my friend, can you turn it down a little bit? Can you turn the music down a little bit? Okay, see that? You figure it out? Okay, good. All right, so we got objective, subjective. Comment below now, do you know what a subjective world is? You understand what subjective? I know, right? I'm laughing too. You know how this thing going. The algorithm picks up some music, they'll say, oh, you're taking someone else's music. So, hey, it's the Matrix, man. All right. Figuring it out. Okay. It depends on my action. Okay. Subjective, again, is the ability to see something in the imagination, and then what you see in the imagination, it's in your own head. That's subjective and objective. So here's my question for you, and here is the big picture that I have to put towards you. Check this out. This is the part where you pay attention the most. You ready for this? Good. Subjective. Here we go. Subjective is the mental, objective is the physical. We got that? Get ready for this. It's backwards. Subjective is the real world. Objective is the fake world. From the subjective world manipulates the real world. So let me show something to you. All right, remember in this beginning, I mentioned to you, I said, when you're in your office, when you're at work, and whatever you're looking at, you think that's objective. Check this out. What you're experiencing is a unconscious, a subconscious program that has been manipulated internally inside your consciousness that was cultivating and rendering the objective world that you're living in. So where you're at right now in your life, you actually manifested it in your subjective mind. Huh? Mark, wait a minute. I didn't manifest to work at this crappy job. I didn't manifest to live in this place. Yes, you did. Pay attention to the next one. You see, you have different levels of awareness. You have what you call your conscious awareness. That's the surface. You know an iceberg? You see an iceberg, when an iceberg's floating on the water? You see the top of the iceberg? You can't see the whole iceberg. Remember the Titanic? How do you think the Titanic sank? You see the iceberg was this big. You can't see the surface. So what happens, you have the top line where you can conscious, but on the bottom line, you can't see that. So in your subconscious, it was playing you with programs you had no idea were there. And they made you make decisions, choices, direction, habits that you had no idea you were doing. So you end up where you're ending up because your subconscious placed you in that, and it became your objective world. So I am here to free you and teach you to break the chains so that you can live the life you want. And here we go. Ready for this? What you must do is, number one, realize and become aware that there is no objective world. It's all subjective. What you think, what you feel, what you do a lot of, what you put your attention on, it's going to transmute and look like the objective world. So in reality, there is only illusion. Everything is subjective. And let me further prove it to you again. Here we go. Let's ready for this one. Use your body. If you take a cell from your body and you put it under a microscope, you're going to go through different phases of existence. Here we go. You're going to get to the cellular level, okay? You're going to get to the molecular level, the molecules, and then you are going to get to the quantum level, okay? And you can even go beyond the quantum level, and then you can go into what we call the field level, the ether level. So what are these different levels? Let's focus on one particular level. Let's talk about the quantum level. In the quantum level, in each of you and me and our cells, we have billions of atoms right now rolling through our body. These atoms, electrons, they are called building blocks. They form what we see as physical. But I have a question for you. If anyone can answer this, you get the Nobel Peace Prize. Somebody probably did, but you can get it. Here's a question for you. How can something that's not physically real be physically real? How can something that has no physical constraints, how can something I can push my fingers to, how can something you cannot physically touch or hold, how can something invisible, how can something transparent make a physical thing? The ingredients that make you and me are not real in the sense of reality. So that's my question for you. If you have an answer for that, comment below. If you say I know the answer, if you don't know the answer, I'll tell you the answer. Say, Mark, please, Mark, tell me the answer. Tell me the answer. Please, more, Mark, more. Or if you may know the answer, comment below. Maybe someone will see it too. So how can something not real make something to look real? Okay, I'll tell you the answer. Here's how it works. Your brain tricks you every day. So the electron or the atom, it has energy. This energy vibrates and oscillates really, really fast. When it becomes really, really fast, our brain classes it as objective physical stuff. It's just going real, real fast. So fast it looks like it's stopping still. Have you seen like a helicopter, the propeller? When the propeller goes so fast, it looks like it's not even spinning, right? It just looks like it's just there like this. But if you slow the frame down, you can see the propeller spinning really, really fast. It looks like a solid thing. So what our brains do, our brains use two things to trick us. It uses speed and it uses magnetism. That's why we have electromagnetism. So when these atoms and these particles, when they gather momentum or speed, they create a magnetic charge. Every charge have a positive and a negative charge. So when two opposite charge meets, they have a resistance factor. They can't touch. So every day when you and I walk up and I'm touching, you're never touching anything. All you're doing is feeling the repulsion of those charges. They call that a Planck scale. So when you touch your hands like this, and your brain says, I just touched my fingers, it's a trickery. It doesn't exist. You can't touch anything. It's repulsion of the forces. So you take the magnetic force, you take the speed force, and you put them together. Your brain does an elaborate job of making everything look real to you and I. But check this out. You want me to blow your mind even more? Let's take away the magnetic force. Let's just take that off. Let's say we're going to turn off the magnetic force. When I go like this, my fingers will go through this entire finger. It will look trippy. I will walk through the car. I won't even have to open the door. I just go like this, and I just float through the car. If the magnetic force was somehow turned off. So what does that tell you? It's fake. It's illusion. It's subjective world. With this knowledge, you can change your life. You can go and win the lottery if you want. You can go and become a billionaire, a millionaire if you want. Someone says, I want to see you do that. Well, I can't do that because the force isn't turned off. However, you can see it in action. You can see it on the quantum scale. You can see it in the laboratory. You can see the particles charging and going through each other. We live in a three-dimensional world. The three-dimensional world that we exist in is governed by electromagnetism. That is what traps our soul here. Our consciousness chose to come here to experience this world as physical beings. But what I'm teaching you, I'm showing you what you truly are. Big difference now. In your true self, you have no boundaries, but you placed yourself in this game to have boundaries. The problem is the people that come here, they forget what they are. They think they are a who, a I, a me. You are far from that. You are a what, a thing, undescribable. No you cannot pinpoint. You cannot say, oh, that's what, you can't do that. Because, in other words, if something is everywhere and anywhere and nowhere at the same time, what do you call that?
So I say what a lot.
Man, that confuses your brain. I'll repeat it again. If someone is everywhere and nowhere at the same time, what do you call that? Your brain is bugging right now. Your brain is saying, what this guy talking about? That makes no sense. Of course it makes no sense. Well, someone may say a God. That's the closest you can call it. But guess what? Physics now says that is the truth. That's what physics says now. So it's energy. It's the consciousness. It's you. So here's what you got to do. So I say this. I say all of that to say this to you. Okay. So the reason I went through all that stuff is to just enlighten you, to show you something that you can see that with this knowledge and information, you can step your game up now. There's no holds barred to you anymore. Because when you get up in the morning now, you're going to look around and you're going to say, all of this is objective. But why am I seeing it objective when it's really subjective? And then you're going to start to say to yourself, I'm going to start to imagine more of what I want, since this is what's creating the objective world. And that's going to be your escape to a new reality. Because nothing is real until you declare it to be real unconsciously. What was my motivation to win the lottery? To buy my Dakar Yellow E46 M3. That was my motivation. And I wanted to do that. It was a car. It was my dream car. I have it. I just didn't drive it today. But you guys probably seen videos with me here. But that's what I want to leave you guys with today. And I want you to take this knowledge, run with it, change your life, and happy manifesting.